The time is just gone 19 minutes past 9 a.m. as we continue, and it is the time of the day where we bring you Charity Corner. We're talking to the Live2give Foundation, Zahraa Kazee, who is the foundation secretary, sharing an insight on what to expect in 2022. Zahraa, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, wonderful that you are able to join us. And, I'm just looking at this line, Live2give, where it says, we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. And this was a quote that was made by Ronald Reagan. And just looking at the Live2give Foundation, founded by friends, driven by a common purpose to make a difference and a mission to empower the disadvantaged in our community by supporting their educational needs. So, and I've been on your Facebook page as well. And I must say, Zahraa, I've been very, very impressed in terms of what you have achieved to date. But also going forward, I suppose there's a lot more on the cards.
Absolutely. We've had a wonderful year as a foundation for 2021. We're so grateful, thanks to everyone's help. Like you said in the quote, it just takes one person to make a difference to one other person. And that's exactly what we've seen. We've seen donors be so kind and so generous in their donations. And that's how we've been able to run the foundation this year and expand to so many projects that we never thought possible. It's been wonderful.
And also, I think, one doesn't need a rocket science to understand the type of projects and events that you've had. These are simple events. These are enjoyable events. But the purpose is much greater, to make a difference in somebody's life.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yes. Now, let's look ahead in terms of 2022. What have you got on the cards?
So we have a project called Project Sanitary Pads, which has been an ongoing project of ours for the past 3 years. And our aim for 2022 is to continue it and also to expand its scale. So the project basically runs as sanitary pads that are donated to female learners in underprivileged schools in El Dorado Park. And for the past 3 years, we've had quite a number of schools, obviously starting at a small amount and increasing over the years. But we're very excited that this year we've expanded into El Dorado Park, into Alex, into the Joe Slovo community. And so with everyone's help and with, all the backing that we get as a foundation, we've been able to expand so much further, which is very exciting. And then we have quite a few fundraisers coming up. For those that know us, they'll know that a lot of our fundraising is often sports related. And so we're in the works of planning something as well this year. That's another sport-related fundraiser.
Yes, a nice combination, fun and fundraising at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think this is, very, very profound. It's very, very relevant to people, wanting to obviously donate, wanting to sponsor, because at the same time, it's enjoyable both ways. But also, I think sometimes, Zahraa, is we fail to understand the plight of people. And it is only through organizations like yourself that we get to grips with what is actually happening in reality, what's happening on the ground, the suffering, the pain that people and communities go through, like the one you mentioned in El Dorado Park.
Absolutely. I think we often take it for granted, because we have feelers out in the community of El Dorado Park. We then came to know that there was a need for food and a need for hampers and a need for blankets that also came out of the community as well. And so being in an organization, like you said, opens your eyes to the perspective and, the understanding and plight of other people around us, and not that far, just a stone throw away from us. So alhamdulillah, in 2021, we had quite a few drives, and we expanded to quite a few ad hoc projects like hampers and food, and the sanitary pads is our ongoing project, the blankets, etc. And, I think in that way, you're able to make even just a small difference to a small number of people, but you get to see a large impact from it as well.
Well, certainly. And just looking at your sponsors and your donors and those that support your events, how have they responded, Zahra?
I think we've had donors that have been with us throughout the years, and we've had more recent ones that have joined as we've gone along. I think everyone is often taken aback by sometimes how simple the request is when we say, we just need funds for blankets or we just need funds for hampers. What we sometimes look at as a normal grocery list is what people are so desperately in need of. So I think the response from our donors has always been that they've had the ability to help others through us and to use us as a conduit for giving and for doing good.
Zahra, tell us about the friends that have been driven by a common purpose and the team that Live2give Foundation works with. Just give us a bit of an insight into the team because nothing can be done without the right people and also having the right people around you to achieve an objective.
Absolutely. Like they say, teamwork makes the dream work. And we have a wonderful team of friends. There are quite a number of doctors on our foundation, on the committee. It was founded by Professor Adam Mohammed. Our CEO is Fozia Suleiman in finance. So we have quite a broad spectrum of people from all walks of life and all types of careers and paths. But we've all come together as friends who run together, who are athletic. We either run or swim or cycle together. And that is obviously how we came together as friends, and it was the motivation of how we would fundraise going forward. And of course, not always on the committee, but in our larger group of people that we run with and people that we cycle with, we always turn to them first for their support. And, we never get a no, which is always very kind of everyone that's around us. But that's the basis of how the team was formed.
Well, it does appear as if you have a committed, you have an energized and inspired and a motivated team that have really come together, Zahra.
Absolutely. We're very lucky. Lots of hardworking people who somehow manage being professionals in the workplace, having families, and then, of course, making time for Live2give. So it's a very hardworking group, yes.
Yes, now to realize your objectives in the new year, I suppose you would be calling on donors, you would be calling on sponsors to support you throughout the year in terms of whatever you want to achieve. That is extremely important. And what should donors be doing? What should potential sponsors be doing to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So all the details are up on our Instagram and our Facebook. There's an email there if they need to get in touch, if they want to sponsor a specific product or a specific amount or have a specific project in mind. Our Instagram is at Live2give Foundation, and it will have all our banking details and all the necessary information. We update it regularly with projects that we're doing as well.
Yes.
So all the information is up there.
Also, now Zahra, I know you've through the Live2give Foundation, you've impacted the lives of many. You've made many differences, but sometimes there are certain things that basically stand out. Somebody that of, or somebody that one of your team members may have got in touch with that have made a huge difference. And sometimes these are memories that stay with us for the rest of our lives. Are there any of those that you could share?
Absolutely. I think the first one that comes to mind is earlier this year we were in the Brixton community. There's a Slovo Park informal settlement that we handed out blankets at. And it was a bitterly cold day. We sort of had a couple hours to get everything done, and we stopped outside and we had discussed with the community leader that we would be handing out the blankets, etc. And there were a group of ladies that all came forward, and they had the biggest, most vibrant smiles, despite, knowing they had broken shoes and very little on, and knowing that their circumstance was so dire that they were living in such cruel, a cruel setting with very little to their name. they had these blankets and they were so excited and they broke out into song and kumbaya and they were so grateful. And I think that was probably something that will stay with me, that something as simple as a blanket on a cold day made such an impact to these women's lives. And I think the list can go on and on. It's whether you're handing out hampers or a little girl comes to you for a meal. We recently had some of the girls at the schools tell us that their marks had improved because they were at school more often and they weren't missing out when they had their mentees. And so, seeing small incremental changes, having small feedback, whether it's something profound or whether it's just a small subtlety that comes along, is incredibly special to see.
Well, it certainly is, Zahraa, and Allah reward your efforts and the rest of your team and everybody else that is involved with the Live2give Foundation. And just to reinforce contact details, anybody who wants to get in touch with you, if you could just repeat that.
Absolutely. So the contact details are at Live2give Foundation on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you also just do a quick Google search of live2givefoundation.co.za, it comes up with our website as well. That also has a little contact form, should anyone need to get in touch.
Well, Zahraa, I must say it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you this morning on Charity Corner. We wish your team, the Live2give Foundation, we wish you all the best. Allah take you from strength to strength, inshallah, to make a difference in the lives of people, inshallah.
Ameen. Thank you so much for having us, and may Allah grant you barakah, inshallah.
Ameen, Summa Ameen. Zahraa Kazee joining us this morning, the secretary for the Live2give Foundation, sharing an insight into the activities and also what to expect in 2022. The time is just gone, 9:31. We'll be joined by Fatima Chauhan, the South African Human Rights Commission, when we get back.
These days, I'm more health conscious than ever.